Welcome back to the Grassroots to Glory podcast. It's been a week since we recorded an episode, and oddly enough, it feels like ages. I feel like I haven't spoken about football, and I'm excited for this one, and I'm happy to be beside my wonderful co-host, as always.
Cringe. Hello.
All right, no, actually, let me take all that back. I hate my co-host, and I don't want to be. Is that better?
Yeah, that'll do.
Alright, cool. Well, just as a precursor, I was ill last week. I went on my honeymoon, as we said last episode, and I come back with this, I don't even know what it was. It was like some flu-y nonsense, and I just felt like death. So, the entire episode would have just been me coughing, and God knows what. So we're a little bit behind, but we're here. And we're here to, well, discuss what's been happening, I suspect. So,
Yeah.
as usual, I assume you've been to. I saw that you went to a couple of games while I was away.
Yeah, so Alf Church, some gaff. That was
Birmingham, right?
yeah, it's just south of Birmingham. It's a tiny little village with about 6,000 population. There's no one there, and basically, I've seen Step 5 non-league grounds better than that gaff. It was it was terrible. Massive on a massive slope. It's basically a field with a fence around it and like one stand.
Like a glorified school field kind of vibe.
Yeah, there's just a big wooden fence around the whole gaff. It's something. But good to get it ticked off. It's a nice little community club. That's something I can say about it. There's some good pubs nearby as well. It's like £4 a pint up there. So can't complain too much. Yeah, it's all right. Bit of a pain to get to though. I recommend you kind of have to drive it. I wouldn't recommend doing a train or anything like that. To that one, horrendous. But we got the win to the fourth round quals, in which we got Chippenham at home. So that's going to be boring. We've already played Chippenham at home, and it's never a pretty game. But it's something that we should realistically be winning and getting to round one and potentially getting that.
I was going to say it's the round ones next time, isn't it? So
you give me Blackpool away.
Is that what you're hoping for?
Yeah. So most of us want Blackpool away is like the prime one, or Bradford away. I think are the two that people really want. I think Blackpool, Bradford. I'd take either. Bradford, their ground is unbelievable for the level. They're League One now.
Yeah,
they got promoted. They are currently top of League One, I believe, as well.
Okay.
They've always been like. Bear in mind, like when we were in our lifetime, Bradford have been a Prem team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like they're bigger than like the level, and they just fell on hard times. I'm gonna quickly just check. They are second.
A prime example is Luton in recent history. It's Luton, isn't it? They were like battling with the top dogs at one point, and they're 11th in League One in the space of 2 seasons. So it happens, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Huddersfield as well. You look at them.
Yeah, Huddersfield currently in playoffs, I believe, in League One. So they're doing okay, but still probably under where they should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to. I did go to Waltham Abbey, which is a little place. It's classed as Essex, but it's probably more London these days. It's one of the last few Essex grounds I needed to tick off in actual, like we're talking actual, like, you know, senior teams, not like under 16s. I'm not doing that. You'll never catch me going to a school just to tick off a ground kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Just in general, can't do that. But it was nice to get a gaff. Actually, it's probably puts Chelmsford's to a shame, to be honest, for being 2 steps lower. And I saw a 6-0. So
that's good. I mean, the part. I mean, not that we're talking about it today, but the problem with Chelmsford Stadium is just unless you're behind the goal, you're so far away from
a running track
because it's an athletics track. It just
probably third worst in the league, I'd say.
It's horrible.
I would say Enfield and Hornchurch are worse, but
which is the one that segregates the fans?
Torquay does every year. Maidstone sometimes. That was Maidstone.
That's it.
That wasn't segregated. That one.
Oh.
And they didn't this season either. They do sometimes. They don't. They haven't for the last couple. Torquay do every year. They obviously, I get it though. They've got like crazy big stadium, former league club.
Yeah.
They're biggest club in probably potentially other than Wimbledon. They might be the biggest club to ever play at this level, this low down. So fair enough. Some do, but yeah, that's what I've been doing. Obviously, you've been dying and away, so not too much happening on your end.
I was in sunny Fuerteventura, which was nice. I did watch a little bit of football. I was out there. I was trying to pay attention as much as I could, but realistically, I had a date with the sun and the pool more than football. But
yeah, that's what it's for.
I did sort of check in here and there, but since we're sort of a week behind, we're not going to discuss the results. We're going to fly through the results for the weekend just gone, rather than going all the way back, because otherwise we'll be here till
we will
next century.
Yeah, exactly. Take ages.
And
so.
I think you agree that weekend there was nothing really notable anyway. It was sort of the ones that were supposed to win one.
Yeah, nothing huge. The only thing I think that was notable was maybe Galatasaray beating Liverpool and them kind of going into a spiral of losses recently, but that was about it. So I think we'll start off from Friday's first game, Bournemouth-Fulham, because me and my mate actually went to pub to watch this one on Friday evening. Actually, really, really decent game. It was actually better than I was expecting. It's one of them on paper, you just think, that's a nothing game, but Bournemouth really well. Semenyo, as he does, unreal. Yeah. He's got, I believe, the second highest goals and assists in the league at the moment, behind Haaland. And he played phenomenally well, controlled the game. And Fulham, they weren't awful, but I think Bournemouth just had more. And fair result, I think, for what the game kind of had. Semenyo, I think, standout best player. Bournemouth's defence as well were really good. Truffert was really good.
Do you know what? I was going to just mention that obviously last season Bournemouth lost a lot of players, obviously Højlund went off to Real Madrid, you had Kirkhead to Liverpool, they lost pretty much Zbani went to PSG, so they lost so many players, but you couldn't tell me that they had lost any players right now. They're sitting fourth currently.
Yeah.
And they just don't look like they're stopping. And I think is it Areola?
Yeah.
I think he deserves so much praise for what he's done with that team. I mean, for me, Bournemouth will always hold a special place in my heart as a place. It's where I met my wife, so I do pay attention to their results. So it's good to see them do well. Unless they play City, then I want them to lose, obviously. But I think credit to them. I think Fulham, with the last season they did well. I think they've kind of just hit a point where they've still got players like Adama Traore running down the wing, and the man can't hit a goal. So they're kind of just going to sit. I mean, that is it Josh King, young striker? He looks good.
Yeah.
But, I think they'll still finish mid-table, but I'm not surprised that Bournemouth won, to be honest with you.
Nah, better team. I think they just had a bit too much on the day. But good game overall, to be honest.
Yeah.
Moving on to Saturday, Leeds 1, Tottenham 2. Had kind of bits of this on the train over to wherever we were going, Waltham Abbey.
Yeah.
Didn't watch a load of it because the signal was bad, but it looked pretty straightforward. Kind of felt for Leeds, couldn't obviously get anything out of it. I do think Leeds were the better team throughout the game, to be honest, but just couldn't get it done. And Kudus got a goal in the second half and kind of just killed the game off.
I think Leeds' problem is that they've got Calvert-Lewin up front. I think he's a good player, but he's always injured and has been injured for ages. So he's never been able to get up to scratch. And I think when you're relying on him to be your striker, I know he scored last week or week before. He's never going to, in my opinion, he might, but I feel like he's never going to bag you like 10 goals, which is what they need to stay up, I think. So I think Leeds might struggle unless they start actually scoring, because a lot of their games they lose because they just don't score. So
their keeper had an absolute stinker as well. That just kind of let them down a little bit. The days of them having like a Patrick Bamford banging 20 are long gone. They don't really. I mean, Okafor is probably a better scorer than Calvert-Lewin these days. Calvert-Lewin's just a bit too inconsistent for me.
Yeah.
Kudus was very good though.
Yeah.
Proven to be a good signing from West Ham.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He did very well.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good player. I'm surprised West Ham let him go, to be honest. But
yeah, especially to Tottenham of all clubs. But there you go.
But that leads us on to the next result of Arsenal versus West Ham.
Arsenal West Ham 2-0 Arsenal. I actually want to talk about Arsenal very briefly. We were kind of slating them for saying like they need to be winning these big games to obviously if they want a chance of winning the league, and then they would go and win away last minute to Newcastle and kind of prove us wrong, and now they are top of the league. So, fair enough. Whether or not they can hold this on now because they've been known to bottle it, but they're looking in a good place. I do think in practice, I do think they are the strongest team in the league at the moment. But outclass West Ham. The transitional period, as we'll get into a bit more detail when we talk about Nuno, but they need a bit of change. It's going to take a while. Obviously, Nuno's style is pretty different to Potter's. Give him a bit of time, but they were dire. I think they had 4 shots total the whole game.
Yeah,
they barely touched the ball. They were really bad, and Arsenal just did what they had to do. I don't think Arsenal were fantastic by any means, but they got the 3 points and called it a day. Rice scoring as well makes me laugh, but good from Arsenal. West Ham looked very slow. I think he needs players realistically, and I'll get into some potentials when we talk about it. But there is some players there. Yeah, he needs some players. They just don't have really anything that fits that style, bar a couple.
No,
I mean there's a good few players there that are just too slow for what Nuno likes to do. So expect some changes in West Ham, but we'll get onto that shortly. Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. Didn't really watch this, but from what I saw, it was again pretty straightforward. Sunderland, all credit, I don't think were bad. I just think that again, quality difference was enough.
Yeah.
Really, as
it's the lack of experience as well, isn't it? Because they haven't been in the top flight for a very long time, and obviously Old Trafford isn't what it used to be. It used to be the Goliath that everyone hated to go to, and obviously with recent results from Man United, it's not that anymore. But I think for a team like Sunderland, maybe it was a matter of the occasion getting to them. And obviously, say what you want about Man United, the players are there, and I think it was just outclassed. I think. So you want about Ruben Amorim and his style. Man United do have the players, and I think, like I say, I think it was just outclassed Sunderland, and
definitely.
Really, I think everyone was expecting Man United because at the moment it's like, Man United lose everything. But I think if you're to be honest and take away anything like that, I don't really see there being a different result.
Oh, no, not this one. So pretty straightforward. And then quite a big one. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Liverpool losing 3 games straight now. Yeah. Chelsea have struggled as well. They haven't had the best kind of last, 4 or 5 games themselves, but they did well today. Or was it Sunday? It was Saturday. Sunday? I don't even know what day we're on. They did well. I mean, Saturday. I think could have been anyone's game. Liverpool, pretty even, pretty dead, even possession. Both had 12 shots in the game. I think could have been anyone's. It's just Liverpool keep conceding late on instead of scoring late on at the minute. It's 3 games straight now where they've conceded 95 plus minutes in.
I think I've said it before. I said it at the start of the season, and I said Liverpool are so vulnerable at the back because of who they've got as fullbacks. Because both Kirkes and Frimpong naturally aren't amazing defenders. I mean, Kirkes looks nervous. He doesn't. I think he's a good player. I just don't think he's got the confidence right now.
I think
mistakes.
Him and Bradley, I both think were poor.
Yeah.
So I think it's Frimpong.
Frimpong's attacking, really, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not really a defender, and you can't play Szoboszlai as a right back permanently.
No,
he needs to be in that heart of that midfield because he's a good player. especially with Wirtz not hitting the ground running at the moment. You know, I said it before and I said it again. Late winners aren't, you can't continuously do it over long periods of time.
No, not at all.
And I think it's now just caught up to Liverpool. Salah just doesn't look like a good player right now. I don't know what's going on there. He just looks off of it.
Yeah, he wasn't great for the last few games, to be honest.
And Isak just hasn't. I mean, to be honest, I have no sympathy for Isak, but he just doesn't look with it either. So, fair play to Chelsea. Is it Estavio? He looks like a player.
Yeah, he looks very good.
Interestingly, Chelsea have had 4 red cards in 4 games. So,
they do keep getting people sent off, which that's something you do need to generally sort out.
I think James is now injured.
Did he get injured that game? Squad. Oh, good. So, I think he was actually one of the best players on the pitch that game as well. But I think the biggest difference in the game for me was the wing-back difference. Mm-hmm. Bradley and Kirkes just couldn't live up to Cucurella and James.
And they're benching, and Liverpool are benching Chiesa when Chiesa's been I think he's in form right now. He's been scoring goals, and yet Slot just benches him. I don't know why, but when you've got a player like that on the bench that's in form, to someone to bring on just to impact the game and maybe get a late goal or whatever, it just doesn't really make much sense to me. But
no,
I'm not Arne Slot. I don't know, so
maybe it'll click. But at the moment, they're looking vulnerable, which just how we like it, to be honest, with Liverpool. Moving on to Sunday, there are a few games. Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1. I did not watch this, so I cannot really comment.
I caught bits of it. I still think. I think we discussed it last week. That is it potentially time for, will Emery have his time where it's like questions to sort of struggle a little bit against Burnley and to only come away with a 2-1 win at home. It's not ideal. It wins a win, but it was even-ish possession. It didn't look great, but I think
1-4 straight though.
Yeah. I mean. I don't know. I just it's not convincing for me personally. I could be completely wrong, but
I don't think they're as good as they have been. No. But I think they are coming into it a little bit now. I think we're starting to see
a bit of form going
of the old Villa. But speaking of form, Crystal Palace 19 games unbeaten finally ended. Everton 2, Palace 1. Jack Grealish scored in the 93rd minute that did end the streak. A bit of a streak that I think went a bit under the radar a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree.
It wasn't until they were about 17 unbeaten that people really started taking notice. Whereas I remember watching something when they were maybe 13 or 14 unbeaten, and someone was talking about it. I was thinking, oh god, they actually are.
Yeah.
They just obviously kept getting results, and Liverpool were one of them. They beat Liverpool 2-1, scoring last minute. But it is unfortunately over. I don't think they were bad. I think pretty even game.
Yeah.
Just Everton had it right at the end. I don't think it was the most thrilling game. I don't think a huge amount happened. Everton defensively were very solid. Tarkowski, I think, was really solid. O'Brien, I believe he's a right back, looked really good as well. And then, obviously, Michael Keane and Mikolenko are generally pretty consistent players. And I think that's where the game was kind of changed. I don't think Palace were too good defensively. I think Everton got in just a bit too much for what you'd expect. Nketiah was woeful as well when he come on. I don't know. I think Palace, it was a bit of an off day for them, but they're obviously, they've just gone 19 unbeaten. They clearly got something there, and I think they'll be completely fine. They're currently sitting like, 5th or 6th or something, 6th. So,
yeah,
they'll be fine.
I like them a lot because they don't really have any like huge names, and they just go under the radar.
Yeah, especially questions like with Eze going as well. There were questions, but
absolutely. But they've just replaced him with that Jeremy Pino and cracked on, haven't they? So fair play to them. I like them.
Yeah, I do as well. And I do.
Credit to Everton. We must.
Yeah.
They come away with the win. They're looking good. Moyes has got them in a position where I feel like they're for the last few seasons we've looked at them as like potential relegation, and I think now we can finally see that they're stable. They're getting results, playing a lot better, and I just think they need, if they can get a striker through the door, because Beto is terrible.
I'm not a fan of Beto.
I think if they can get an actual keeper, and I have a funny feeling they might keep Grealish.
Possibly, yeah.
I think they're fair play to them. They've turned a corner, and good luck to them. To be fair,
Nottingham. Just the wrong way around. Newcastle 2, Nottingham 0. Not a great start for Ange, but this sort of result you do expect. And I think you kind of got the questions here. That how long is it? I know Ange has only just gone, but it's been woeful.
Oh, terrible! I mean, he sacked Nuno because he didn't like him. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they fell out. That was the reason.
But he got them back into Europe, and last season you had Chris Wood scoring about 40,000 goals. Now I don't think he might have scored, but maybe 1 or 2 this season. They look just dreadful.
Yeah, they look bad.
I think the problem is Ange's style. They don't have the players for it. Whereas at Spurs they had the aggression, the fast defenders. Whereas at Forest it's very, very different, and he's trying to do the same thing, and it's just quite clearly not working.
Yeah, no, there's not many. I don't think that fit that style. I think Gibbs White potentially one that does. He looked quite good for what Forest did have.
Yeah,
but and I quite like Sells in goal. I think he's a good keeper.
Yeah, I like Sells.
I just think there's a good few players in there. Chris Wood, I think, is far too slow to be playing that style. And I know it might upset because he's quite popular, but I don't think Elliot Anderson fits what he wants to do. I know he's a popular player. And then that Nicolo Savona, that young Italian lad, didn't look good at all either. I don't think they fit particularly well. Their defence, I don't know, it didn't look great. But
it's the back three, isn't it? It just doesn't.
Yeah. Newcastle just peppering them.
Yeah. I mean, if we go quickly onto Newcastle, they look good. Voltemada looks like a striker.
Scored 3 and 3.
Really like prevalent, tall, strong. The penalty was fantastic. And is it Theor? I'm probably absolutely battering the defender they brought in.
Know how to pronounce it. Theor, I think.
Something like that. He looks great, like different gravy. He looks good.
Yeah, he was good. He was very good.
Really good. So I think for Newcastle, they'll keep cracking on, but I do think eventually it's going to happen where they're going to need to replace the fullbacks. They've still got Kieran Trippier, who, obviously Livramento and Hall are both injured. I think that might be their downfall a little bit. But, they got the job done. And they're looking good.
Simple win. Wolves 1, Brighton 1. I did not watch this, to be honest, so I can't comment too much. I don't think many did, unless you're a fan of the clubs.
A bit naff, to be honest. I think.
Yeah, I don't think. Looking at the stats of the game, Brighton absolutely dominated, but just couldn't score. Yeah. So I don't know.
Wolves are in trouble.
Yeah, they look bad. They look real bad. But I think, to be honest, I think they have done since Nuno left.
Yeah.
I don't think they've looked great.
I mean, what are we, 7 games in? Is it 7?
Yeah, 2
and
points?
They've got 2 points.
Yeah, it's not good.
You should be, I know Brighton are a good team, but you should be at least getting something out of that game. I mean, obviously they got a point, I get that, but you should be potentially coming away with the 3 points there at Molineux. If you can't win your home games.
Yeah, they just can't buy a win at the minute, so I can't see it going well. And then Brentford 0, Man City 1. I didn't see any of this other than Donnarumma making a good save 1-on-1 at some point.
We should have killed it. Brentford were terrible in the first half. They were really bad. And then they come out in the second half and they were a lot better. They were pushing us. But we actually held defensively quite well. Donnarumma coming in has seemed to have changed the way we play a little bit, but I feel a bit more confident as a shot stopper. I trust that, if he made an incredible save when he was 1-on-1. I think, Haaland just looks different this season. I think he's everywhere. He's back for defending. His goal was great. I think the bad thing for us is Rodri's injured again, which is a shame. But credit to Brentford, they come out the second half. They look different. They just couldn't get anything. I think Sharda had a relatively bad game, but I think it was a kind of a nothing game, really. First half was good, and then second half it just kind of was back and forth and nothing really to speak about, to be honest. It's not really.
Yeah. So that's the results over the weekend. There's not a lot going on going forward either for later, so there's not really going to be any predictions at the end, just because it's international break and England have only got friendlies until next week. So no point. So we're going to move on to. There's a couple of news stories that we're a bit outdated on, but we do want to talk because they are pretty significant. So Nuno at West Ham, obviously replacing Graham Potter. We've kind of briefly discussed it, but I wanted to kind of hold off on anything major until now. So I guess style, results, expectations. I think it's obviously a good move. Potter just did not work at all. The defense was just leaking goals. And I think he's someone that he wants to come in, and he said that he wants to build an identity and kind of get that West Ham way back, which is a dangerous thing to say because so many have come in and said that, and it's absolutely failed.
Yeah, West Ham's last good manager was Moyes. Really?
Yeah, realistically.
Won the cup with them, which I actually watched, and a Bowen goal for them must have been incredible. But Potter hasn't been good since Brighton. I think he was terrible at Chelsea.
It didn't work at all.
I said this to someone a while ago. Just to mention Potter again, I think he's slowly ruining his own managerial credits because he keeps going into jobs that he's never going to succeed at. I think after Brighton going to Chelsea, I think everyone could sort of see that wasn't going to work, and it didn't. And then he goes off the radar for a bit, doesn't he? And then he comes in to West Ham, and again, you could just see, because of the way West Ham are, it was never going to work. And again, we've been proven right. I think he's suited, and this might sound horrible, but I feel like he's suited to a sort of a championship team. I think he needs to sort of go back to the drawing board almost. To be on topic, obviously, where Russell Martin has just been sacked as Rangers manager. You could see him going to Rangers.
Possibly.
Not saying it would be a good fit.
I think Gerrard will go Rangers.
More than likely. But do you know what I mean? I feel like he needs to stop taking these Premier League jobs because they quite clearly aren't working for him. He was incredible at Brighton for the standard of Brighton. And I think now he's put West Ham in almost an impossible position where they're, second from bottom, and they just don't have an identity anymore. You don't look at anyone in that West Ham team and go, oh, yeah, that's good.
I think possibly with the Potter thing, I think Potter's at Chelsea made sense. I think sacking Tuchel for that, maybe not, but I think, he consistently performed well at Brighton, and it's like a next step up in his career. I think the problem came under new ownership. There's a lot of instability at the club at the time, and I think anybody would have failed. I don't necessarily think that's a Potter thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I suppose. I think, and I get it from his point of view, you would, wouldn't you? Because obviously Chelsea is a step up from Brighton.
Yeah.
But what concerns me slightly is people wanted him for England.
Oh god, yeah, no. If we have to stick with an English manager, let's just say hypothetically, I'd want it to be Eddie Howe, probably.
Yeah, I think most people would.
It's like prime candidate, but yeah, obviously it just hasn't worked for him. And yeah, the whole Russell Martin thing was quite funny. I watched a video about it, and he's getting fleece escorted out and stuff, and it was sacked.
Well, they blocked the bus in, didn't they?
Yeah. So yeah, it's. I mean that is a whole nother topic that we can talk about at some point, because that has been an absolute shambles there.
Yeah.
But and that is something I do want to actually talk about for a future episode. Is the Scottish League. At some point, just because it's terrible. But that's something I certainly want to kind of bring back up another time. But I guess what can we expect from Nuno? So Nuno brings a lot more defensive solidity and compactness that Potter obviously didn't bring. Nuno tends to prefer a structure, kind of more being comfortable sitting deeper, limiting the space that opposition have, and kind of letting opposition have a bit more possession, but in maybe less dangerous areas. It's kind of more his style. Bit more quick transitioning, counter-attack, focused. He likes to move quickly, and he likes fast-paced runners exploiting space that becomes available. So he uses, obviously, wings and pace are kind of like his whole thing, and we've seen it with players he's used before, and some players that potentially could suit this style more. Set pieces as well, because obviously he structures defensively most of the time. Maximising set pieces is important, and something that he has said since he's gone there, that's something he wants to work on improving, both offensively and defensively. So I think that's something we can expect in time, is a complete shift. Obviously, the results haven't been amazing, but I think expect that. I don't think he's got the players at the moment to suit the system.
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, he's got Callum Wilson as a striker.
Full Krug as well.
Yeah, I mean,
no chance.
Two of the probably most injury-prone strikers we've seen in a while, and they're getting on. And obviously you've got Jared Bowen and Somerville on the wings, which, as you mentioned, with pace. I do worry about West Ham, because I feel like if Nuno had to come in at the beginning of the summer, he would have had time to get the players in.
Yeah, definitely.
They've now got to do what they can do with what they've got, and looking at their squad, I don't like the way. I'm not hopeful that he needs to try and get through to January, and I think something needs to come in January. I mean, their last win was against Forest, however long ago that was now.
Second game of the season, yeah.
I do worry about them. You look at their starting 11, and it's not great.
No, it's not. It's not amazing on paper. Absolutely.
But I will say that when Nuno was in charge of Wolves, the squad wasn't amazing either. So, and he did all right there. They
got him. Europa League quarter final.
You think, can he do something at West Ham? It's. I think the sad thing is with managers nowadays is if the board gives them time. We're seeing it with Forest and I was going to say Potter then, and Ange. In that, is Marinakis going to give Ange time? Because a new manager needs time. You can't just it may not look great after 11, after 7 games or whatever, they're bottom of the barrel. But sometimes it takes longer. I mean, I always keep bringing it back to teams like Man United. Amarim's been in the job a while now, and we can safely say that last season was a disaster. But it looks as though Ineos is sticking with him, and out of the last 5 games, they've won 3. So it takes time. And I feel like boards need to give managers time. I don't think getting rid of a manager... Because, let's be honest, I can see... And I don't want to keep bringing it back to Forest, but I can see Marinakis getting rid of Ange, because they've lost 4 out of the last 5 in the Prem. And he's going to look at that and go, something needs to change. But who are you going to bring in? So that's why I feel like maybe the appointment of Nuno at West Ham is just going to steady that a little bit. And if he gives him time, gives him till January, just to bring a couple of players in, whether it's a few loans, just something to just. I'm not saying that West Ham are going to now all of a sudden start fighting for European positions again.
No.
But they need to get out of this, like, I guess, lull that they're in, because Leeds, I know I said earlier that I think they need goals and everything. They could quite easily stay up. There's no one other than maybe like Burnley and Wolves that are looking, and Forest, that are looking really, really bad. So they need to be careful. But I think maybe Nuno will change that. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll stabilise them. They make the team harder to break down. Yeah. A few smart additions needed. I think you need to get rid of some players like Fulkrug. I think he's far too slow. I think he's quite popular, but Fornals, I think it's too slow. I think you need faster players and a couple of wingers that are quick. I think Bowen fits fine. I think he's someone you keep. But and funnily enough, I think Kudus actually would have been a good fit as well. But, they decided to offload. So a couple of wingers that you could potentially get in is, I think the prime one for me is, if he ever falls out of favour with Chelsea, is Pedro Neto. I think obviously played together before. I think potentially could be a really good fit for West Ham if he wants to stay in London, if Chelsea ever decide that he's just not it. Or if he wants to go a bit older, maybe Adama Traore. Someone I could see. I genuinely think it's quite a realistic signing for West Ham. They like going for older players that have kind of passed it, and he's still quick. Like, that's undoubtedly. And I do think genuinely, I think he would actually fit quite well. I think he's not someone that needs to score.
I think the only problem with that is if you're going to bring someone like him in, you need to bring an actual striker in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They 100% they need a striker.
Without a striker, it's. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. It just I don't rate Adama Traore for anything other than his pace and his incessant use of baby oil. But I maybe they need to do something. Yeah. I mean, their upcoming games are somewhat good to them. They've got Brentford at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, Burnley at home, and then Bournemouth away. So there are some potential stinkers in there, but they've got quite a few home games coming up, so that might be a foothold into just even if they can come through that with a couple of draws and maybe a win, just something to Because I mean, imagine being a West Ham player as well right now. There's no confidence in the squad for themselves. They obviously feel the pressure, and because I mean, West Ham fans, they're something. So it must be hard, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the first test is against Brentford on Monday.
They have to win. 100%. But I think some potentials. They definitely need a striker who I think can kind of finish kind of off the shoulder rather than just being a target man like a Fulkrug who just stands there and waits. They need very quick fullbacks and wingbacks. I don't think Wan-Bissaka is going to last in this system. It's not quick enough. He's much more defensive minded. But I think they also need like a box-to-box midfielder as well who can transition both defense and offense, because I don't think like Ward-Prowse or whatever's it for that. Too slow. Yeah. Again, but I think overall, I think that it's a good move. They can make some changes. I think something that they need to do. They've got quite a few players on like big contracts as well. Mm-hmm. I think they just need to offload some players to really begin to sort of transition. Possibly you get some money for him. You can get good money. So I potentially he's a good player, but necessarily I think could play somewhere else. And if you can cash in some decent money for him, then fair play. Could kind of get the ball rolling a little bit with a change. So absolutely. But overall I think a good move for West Ham. So on to, I guess, the second thing that happened. This happened a couple of weeks ago now, but we're kind of getting around to it. Is obviously the Ballon d'Or happened for 2025. So I'll start off. I'll give you just some little stats about it, what happened, and then we can go into whether we think this is the right call and any players that might have been done dirty or were kind of elevated higher than we maybe think deserved. But obviously, Ousmane Dembele won the 2025 Ballon d'Or. Obviously, he had a very good season, extremely influential for PSG domestically and in Europe. So that's essentially why. Runner-up, Lamine Yamal, obviously at 17 years old, had an unreal season, but the point spread was pretty. Wasn't that close. So Dembele 1,380 points, Yamal 1,059, and Dembele received 73 first place votes, and Yamal only got 11. So pretty one-sided. And then obviously Vitinha, also at PSG, came third, I believe, as well. So.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Pretty dominated by PSG in the top three, and then going down into like the top 10, there's also a fair few PSG players in that as well. So I think personally, I think obviously he not only put up like strong individual numbers, but I think he was a key part of the best team in the world doing what they did over the last calendar year, winning pretty much every trophy, winning. What else did they win? The Super Cup, Champions League, French League, probably the French Cup, whatever the equivalent is too, as well. They pretty much clean sweeped everything other than the Club World Cup, where they still made the final. So, to be honest, I don't think it's unfair. Obviously, a lot of people have been kind of saying, does he deserve it? But I think that kind of comes from being out of the age of like Messi and Ronaldo being so good that they dominated it every year. It's a lot more wide open now. But personally, I think good. His performances as well were like in high stake matches too. It wasn't like he was scoring 5 against like tiny teams and then not showing up. He was scoring in big games. And obviously the Ballon d'Or criteria not only includes individual performance but team performance as well. And obviously PSG dominated everything that year. So, yeah, I think you obviously got arguments against as well, like Yamal, obviously at 17, pulled off an unbelievable season. At times was a kind of catalyst for Barcelona, but ultimately, I guess you're looking at like peak and trajectory. So, like Dembele, this is probably like peak for him. Whereas Yamal's probably still got more to come. And then you could even argue, like, Vitinha as well was also a huge part of that PSG team in the midfield, pretty much controlled everything. And I think without him, probably would have nowhere near the amount of success that they did. Whereas if you argue, this happened to be the one miracle season, Dembele didn't get injured for long periods. Would they have had the same success if he was injured? Possibly. They obviously had like Kvaratskhelia and some others. So ultimately, I think Vitinha or Dembele is the right call for me. I don't think Yamal had an unbelievable individual performance, but I don't think Barcelona did enough for that to be considered. But if he's getting second at this age, then fair enough. He absolutely won.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is I don't disagree with you because I think the correct person won it. I have a huge problem with the Ballon d'Or, in that it doesn't. People say that it's based off this, it's based off that. It's not. It's a what's the word? Popularity contest. That's all it is. You remember the year that we won the treble and Haaland scored all those goals and everything like that, and then lost out to Messi because he won the World Cup. But
it was always going to happen, wasn't it? The second he won.
That's what I mean. Because it was Messi, he won it. The absolute nonsense, and I will die on that hill. Haaland 100% should have won it. The same as when, slightly different, but remember when Lewandowski won? They decided to not bother doing it.
Well, yeah, COVID year, and then 2021, Messi won when Lewandowski probably should have won again.
Yeah, exactly. So, to call myself a hypocrite, I'm kind of glad that Yamal didn't win, because obviously Yamal's the name, isn't it? He's the man that everyone gasses.
Oh, he's the popular one, yeah. He's
exactly.
The golden boy.
He is the. You say who are the best players in the world, and instantly people go Yamal. And don't get me wrong, he is incredible, But I think the correct person won it. PSG won the treble.
I think so.
they won. Well, they won more than the treble, didn't they? They almost was it 5 or
Quad, I
6?
think technically. I think it was 5 in a calendar year.
Yeah, and this is probably one of the only first seasons we've seen Dembele not injured. And
miracle season for him. He hit that season.
Sorry,
he just hit that one season he needed to show what 100%. He could actually do.
And he was unplayable at times. You know, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I watched a load of PSG, but I did watch a lot of them in the Champions League. And every single game, Dembele was just the man. You know, he was him with Vitinha. They just, Desiree Doué, they just looked different and they looked really, really good. And it was good to see because I remember briefly Dembele at Barcelona and he was always injured, and he weren't great. He didn't set the ground alight or anything like that. But it was not, I mean, obviously they still won things, but I think Barcelona paid 105 million euros for him, I think.
Yeah, he got injured in his first game as well.
Yeah, so he's obviously struggled with injuries, but he's managed to pull that around, and he just seems to have settled at PSG. And obviously, the fruits of his labour have been, given. He's won the Ballon d'Or, and I think it's rightfully deserved. I do think we probably see next year, if Yamal continues on his trajectory, we might see him win it next year, potentially. But I'll be honest, I don't really like the Ballon d'Or full stop. I do think it's a very pointless award, in that I don't think it historically has always reflected the best player. I think, obviously, football being a team game, of course, I've used the argument of Dembele winning all these trophies. You don't win those trophies by yourself, do you? You win them as a team. I just think that there's no real way, in my opinion at least, to sort of say this is the best player in a season. I mean,
it's hard to do, really.
Absolutely. That's why I don't agree with the trophy, because it's portrayed as the best player of a season, but it's so hard to actually identify who is the best player of the season. I mean, you could, I suppose, statistically go down, well, he had...
Yeah, I think that's really like the only way you can do it. But
it just... Yeah. But I think for once, for this year specifically, I think the correct person won it. I think some of the rankings are a bit funky, but...
Yeah, there are a few I think should be changed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the further you go down, I mean, I'm sure we'll disagree with different ones, but, as you go down the list, there are some that I don't necessarily agree with. But, I think Scott McTominay, for one, should be a bit higher. I think to be best player in Serie A, and he was unstoppable last season, should be a bit higher. I think specifically higher than someone like Gyökeres, personally. But that's just a name I've looked at in front of me. I don't know, it just... For once, I think the winner was right.
Yeah, 100%. So, I think, popularity contest aside, I think some years, yes, that's the case. I don't think others. Otherwise, I think Neymar would have won it at some stage. Obviously, he just played in an era where Messi and Ronaldo existed, so no chance. I think they were just that good that I don't think anyone. It wasn't until Modric won that it really started changing. I think that was another right call. Modric winning in the year he did. Controversial one, but I do genuinely think that was the right call. He's, I think, obviously one of the best players I've ever seen play. So happy, but so I think some of the changes I think that could be made. Obviously, you've got Dembele, Yamal, Vitinha, Salah, Rafinha, Hakimi, Mbappe, Cole Palmer, Donnarumma, and Nuno Mendes top 10. For me, I think Harry Kane should be in that top 10. I think he's best last season, at least. I think the best number 9 in football. And I think it's a bit of a shambles that you've got like Mbappe there, where, don't get me wrong, Mbappe had a good season. He did well, but I think Kane did more.
I agree.
He had like 40-plus goal contributions, won, obviously, the Bundesliga. I don't know who won the Pokal, if that was Bayern or not. I don't know. Mbappe, I think he did have similar numbers, I believe, but I don't think he did as much as Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Palmer as well. Yes, he had a great season, but again,
he tailed off towards the end of the season anyway, so it was a bit.
He didn't do enough for me to be in top 10.
No.
I think there are some players outside of this top 10 that I think certainly could have been. João Neves, for one, potential, was a big part of PSG. Again, like you said, Scott McTominay. I think Lewandowski's days are past it for that.
Yeah,
I think Gyökeres is a difficult one. His goal contributions were absolute insanity, and I think that's obviously why. I think him being below Kane is fine. I don't know. It's hard to say with Gyökeres.
I think the problem is that that's another reason why it's difficult, because of the league differences.
Yeah, obviously playing Portugal is easier than...
Absolutely. And that's no disrespect to the Portuguese league. There are significantly better and a lot more... There's a bigger group of better teams in higher leagues, such as the Prem, La Liga, etc., where it's a completely different league and it's more difficult. So it's kind of really hard to say that Gyökeres doesn't deserve to be there, because obviously scoring as many goals as he did for Sporting, brilliant.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see if they do the same. I mean, we can see it this season, but interesting to see if they do the same in a quote harder league.
Yeah, I think top 15 where he is fair.
I'm not mad. I just don't like the fact that he's above Scott McTominay for me.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I think Scott certainly could be higher. So, obviously going down, Dembele fine, Yamal fine, Vitinha fine, Salah fourth, I think fine. Obviously, I think he was the best player in the Prem last season. I think if Liverpool had done more, I think he would certainly a top 3 contender.
Yeah, potentially.
Just for how good he is. Rafinha 5. See, this was quite a controversial one, but I think I'm fine with that. I think he had a really good season.
Yeah, he was
Barcelona as well had a good year.
Yeah, I mean, he's behind Jamal, isn't he, in terms of being the man? But he was definitely one of the ones that was banging the goals in. Yeah. I'm not mad at that.
I think Hakimi, fine. Absolutely no qualms. Mbappe, I think no. I think he should be out of top 10 personally. Cole Palmer, out of top 10 for me. Yeah. Donnarumma, Nuno Mendes, I think fine.
Yeah.
So it's between, for me, Pedri, Kvaratskhelia, Harry Kane. I think for me, Harry Kane is the last in the 10 for me.
I agree.
For what he did.
I think Harry, I mean, this is a conversation for another time, but I think Harry Kane is terribly underrated because of the lack of trophies. I think in competitions like this, you're looking at him with 13th. And I mean, how many goals did he score for Bayern last season?
Oh, God, 45 odd. It's
ridiculous. And even for Spurs.
This season too.
Sorry?
He's doing it again this season too.
Yeah.
Crazy goals.
Unbelievable. He's already scored 11 goals in 6 appearances.
Yeah.
So,
and he, consistent 30 a season for Tottenham.
Well, that's just the league, by the way. Apologies. He's also scored 4 in Europe.
Oh, of course he does.
1 in whatever other is.
Probably Pokal, I would assume.
So he scored a total of 18 goals in 10 appearances.
Yeah, that is bonkers. Yeah.
Last season, 41 in 51. And then the season before that, 44 in 45. So the only other player that's doing that is Haaland. And I just think he's criminally underrated. And I that's not the argument right now. But to be out of the top 10 in Ballon d'Or, I just think he's crazy.
You know, one as well, looking at it, that genuinely, people don't rate him at all. And me and my mate both said we think in the Euro, the one that Spain beat England final, we think that Fabian Ruiz was the best player at the tournament. Yeah. And I think he was one of PSG's most consistent players throughout having an absolute Galactico squad. Yeah. I think him at 24th is criminal.
He was brilliant.
Under Bellingham? Again, Bellingham golden boy, so he's going to get votes no matter what.
Not anymore, he ain't.
No, well, no. But McAllister? No, I think better than McAllister. Garassi, maybe. But
Dumfries is on this list.
To be fair, I think Dumfries is really solid. I don't mind Dumfries being there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player, but...
Yeah, I think he's one of the better sort of wing back sort of players currently active. No issues. They got won the Serie. Didn't win the Serie A. They came to second, was it? Did they come second? I think it was second. Second in Serie A, Champions League final. They did. Yeah. They had a good season. But I think overall, at least 30th.
Yeah, I don't know why. That's sort of you've
he's had a good start, but it seems a bit weird.
Feels a bit like, when you're doing a list and you just forget, the last player.
You just kind of chuck someone in.
Titus Bramble.
You just chuck someone in and that was just the name.
No disrespect to him, he's a good player.
No, he's had a good start. But it does seem a bit odd that they've chucked him in at 30. Yeah. But I'm sure they could have found somebody.
Notable falls, though, if Vinny Jr.
Yeah.
Obviously.
No, Bellingham as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, Real Madrid are big crybabies, so good, I'm glad, actually.
Yeah, is it them that didn't show up because Vinny didn't win last year?
Yeah, so they threw their toys out of the pram because Rodri won, even though Rodri was a better player than Vinny. And then he starts crying about it and no one turned up. So, you can't expect anyone to... I'm surprised. It kind of goes against my argument of being a popularity contest because I think... based off that, especially specifically to the Ballon d'Or, no one likes Madrid. And yet, they've got Mbappe in 7th. And then, so maybe that goes against my argument. But,
I think it is sometimes a popularity contest, but I do think there is actually a bit of credit to it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have had Jorginho third and people like that. Still think it's the right call. I still do think that was fine.
I will fight you on that until the day
I genuinely did. He was vital in Chelsea winning the Champions League and Italy winning Euro.
Jorginho,
he was one of it. Italy, I think there's possibly one or two that were probably better than him over the tournament, but he was probably one of the most consistent. And the same with Chelsea.
Bro's playing for Flamenco now, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, just while we're here, actually, for that sort of thing, are you against Modric winning it?
For that season? No, I don't think so. Not really. I'm not mad at it, is what I would say.
Yeah, okay. Good.
I'm not I get it. It wouldn't be my choice.
I think it would have been that year for me.
I understand it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of them that, I have my biases, of course, but I'm not
tell me about it.
I'm not I will never not admit that, I think he deserved to win it. Deserved? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. So, I think realistically, that's a sort of decent place. We've kind of gone over what happened at the Ballon d'Or, changes we would have made. And like I said, there's not really any predictions. It's international break, joy. So there's nothing going on. The only thing happening until next recording session anyway is England-Wales friendly. My mate's there, actually.
Oh, is it old...
the Welsh, yeah. He is there. He's in the Wembley away end.
Probably drunk as a skunk.
There. Oh, cool. He's probably drunk right as we record this. He is probably drinking. Bless him. But I think realistically that's probably a good place to end off. I've got nothing else to add. Do you?
No. I'm happy to not talk about the Ballon d'Or for another year. So
Yep, absolutely. It's kind of like, it feels like, kind of coming slightly off topic, it feels like kind of like game of the year as well. Like, we occasionally play video games in our spare time, and it's like it comes around, everyone gets mega excited for like a month when that's come around, and then that's just dies. No one cares as soon as it's done.
Well,
It's a
once the
similar
results
sort of
come
thing.
out, you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah, it's like Oscars. Kind of like one of them where it happens and everyone's like, oh my God, and then it just, nothing.
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah,
and then
it kind of dies.
Results in memes for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
But,
so that's that. Obviously, thank you very much for listening. We will obviously back to a regular upload schedule again now. Now that we're not dying and away. We say that I'm away in a couple of weeks. So that's something.
I think luckily I don't think it actually. We're all good. I think.
I can actually check the date. I believe I am away like over a Tuesday, so we'll have to obviously figure that out next week.
That's fine, yeah.
But yeah, we'll figure that out. That's kind of like internal there. But no, thank you very much, obviously, for listening. If you have any sort of comments, or if you would do something differently to us with our kind of Ballon d'Or changes, then let us know.
Send them to Ben directly.
Yeah, send us my DM. My number is in the description. Call me. Give me a call. But yeah, our socials, you can find them all in the description below. But other than that, if there's nothing from you, then
nope, that's it.
Cool.
Happy days.
Excellent. Nice one. Thanks for listening, guys.
Adios, amigos.
See you later.